So welcome to another lecture of excretion and osmoregulation. Today we are going to discuss about excretory system of human being. Okay, so first we are going to discuss about all the parts of the excretory system. In case of the human being, the excretory system is made up of a pair of kidney that you can make out in the diagram, right? Then it is made up of a pair of ureter. Excretory system is made up of a pair of kidney, then a pair of ureter. You can see over here, single unpaired urinary bladder and urethra. So these are the components of human excretory system. Okay, it has got a pair of kidney, a pair of ureter, single unpaired urinary bladder and urethra. Okay, all these are component of human excretory system. Now you can see that a pair of kidneys, that is, they are present in abdominal cavity, and these kidneys are located on either side of vertebral column. Kidney, they are red, bean shaped. The kidneys, they are red, bean shaped. They are located on either side of vertebral column. They are located at the junction of 12th thoracic and 3rd lumbar vertebra. So what is the location of the kidney? Kidney is located in abdominal cavity on either side of vertebral column. It is located at the junction of 12th thoracic and 3rd lumbar vertebra. Okay, that is the location of the kidney. What is the shape of the kidney? The kidney is red bean shape. The dimension of the kidney is, it is 10 centimeter long, it is 5 centimeter broad and 3 centimeter thick. Okay, that is the dimension of the kidney. So kidney is 10 centimeter long, 5 centimeter broad and 3 centimeter thick. Okay, so that is the dimension. So kidney is said to be retroperitoneal. So what do you mean by retroperitoneal? Retroperitoneal is behind the peritoneum. Okay, what is peritoneum? Peritoneum is a membrane that is going to covers the abdominal cavity and other organ. Okay, so the kidneys are located behind the peritoneum. Therefore, it is known as retroperitoneal in origin. Okay, and the average weight of the kidney is approximately, average weight of the kidney is approximately 120 to 170 gram. Okay, average weight of the kidney is approximately 120 to 170 gram. Okay, so that is all about the kidney. So what you have to remember? You have to remember the first, the location of the kidney. Kidney is located on either side of vertebral column in the abdominal cavity. It is located at the junction of 12th thoracic and 3rd lumbar vertebra. Right. The kidney is located behind the peritoneum. So it is referred as retroperitoneal. The kidney is dark red bean shape. Okay, the dimension of the kidney is 10 into 5 into 4 centimeter. That is, length is 10 centimeter, broadness or width is 5 centimeter, and thickness is 4 centimeter. The kidney is bean shaped, right? It has got the outer surface, which is referred as, this outer surface is called as convex. Inner surface is called as concave. This concave has a notch or depression. That depression is called as hilum. That depression is known as hilum. In the notch, a renal artery are going to enter inside the kidney. A renal vein is going to leave the kidney. Even the ureter is going to come out from that notch. Okay, kidney is bean shaped. It has the outer margin is convex, inner margin is concave. That concave margin is going to show the notch. That notch is going to receive the renal artery. From the notch, renal vein will come out. Okay, and even a pair of ureter is going to come out from that notch. If you see the location of the kidney, okay, the right kidney, the right kidney is slightly lower than the left kidney because of the position of the liver. Okay, right kidney is slightly lower than the left kidney because of the position of liver. So this is a right kidney, this is a left kidney, this is slightly lower than this kidney because here the liver is present somewhere over here. So that is all about kidney. So what you have to remember in this case, the location of the kidney. It is located in abdominal cavity at the junction of 12th thoracic and 3rd lumbar vertebra. On either side of the vertebral column, it is retroperitoneal. The right kidney is slightly lower because of liver. Okay, that you have to remember. That is all about the kidney. From the kidney, a pair of tubes are going to arise, which is known as ureter. So what is the function of ureter? Ureter is going to carry the urine from the kidney to the urinary bladder. Okay, so ureter are a pair of tubes which are going to arise from the kidney, right? And each ureter is a muscular tube which is approximately 25 to 30 centimeter in length. Ureter is going to open into the urinary bladder obliquely. Okay, then they are guarded by the valves, so they are going to pass obliquely through the urine, that is through the wall of the urinary bladder, and this is going to prevent the entry of the urine because of the compression of ureter while the urinary bladder is full. Okay, so these ureter are going to open into the urinary bladder obliquely, not vertically. Okay, sideways. Okay, so what is the function of the ureter? Ureter is going to carry the urine by peristaltic movement. So peristalsis, ureter is going to open into the bladder dorsally. Dorsally is from behind, and obliquely, that is in a side way. No valves are there. It is going to close automatically when the bladder will contract. Okay, so this is all about the ureter. Then final is called as urinary bladder. Urinary bladder is a bag-like pear-shaped structure which is going to store the urine temporarily. It is going to store the urine approximately 500 ml to 1000 ml, that is half to 1 liter. So urinary bladder is bag-like structure, pear-like structure, right? It is median bag-like sac, which is going to hollow muscular organ, which is located in the pelvic cavity. Okay, where it is located in the pelvic cavity, posterior to pubic symphysis. I hope you can remember the pubic symphysis where two pubic bones are going to join. Okay, now you can see over here there is a small inverted triangular area. This is called as trigon. Okay, so it is going to, that ureter is going to show the presence of specialized muscle. These are the specialized smooth muscle called as detrusor. It has a specialized epithelium. That epithelium is known as transitional epithelium. Okay, so look at this ureter. Ureter is going to show the presence of transitional epithelium, which will bring about the expansion of the ureter. It has also got a specialized muscle called as detrusor muscle, and that urinary bladder is going to store the urine, which is approximately 500 ml to 1 liter. Okay, so urinary bladder is covered externally by peritoneum. Inner to the peritoneum, there is a muscular layer. What is that muscular layer? The specialized smooth muscle called as detrusor muscle. Okay, and these detrusor muscle are made up of 3 layers of the smooth muscles. Then longitudinal, circular, and longitudinal muscle respectively. So first layer is of longitudinal, again second layer is of circular muscle, and again there is longitudinal muscles that is present, which are arranged in a 3 layer in case of detrusor muscle. Okay, so innermost layer is made up of specialized epithelium. What is the name of the epithelium? That epithelium is called as transitional epithelium. Okay, that epithelium is known as transitional epithelium. So the bladder, that is going to help the bladder to stretch. So expansion of the bladder is brought about by transitional epithelium. Okay, so this is all about the structure of human excretory system. So the next part is urethra. You can see in the diagram, urethra, the urinary bladder is going to open into the urethra. Okay. So you can see over here, it is having two sphincter. One is involuntary, another outer sphincter is voluntary. So there are two urethral sphincter, so which is going to control the flow of the urine. Finally, the urine is released outside by means of the urethra, and the release of the urine is under the control of our will. Because of the outer sphincter, it is under voluntary control. Okay, so process of releasing that is urine outside the body, is known as urination or micturition. Okay, another word is called as micturition or urination, that is process of releasing urine that is outside. Okay, so these external sphincters are there, which is voluntary. Okay, internal sphincters are involuntary. Okay, so in case of the that is in case of the male, the length of the urethra is 20 centimeter because it is passing through the copulatory organ, that is penis. And in case of the female, it is only 4 centimeter. So you can see over here, the urethra in case of male, which is passing through this copulatory organ, right? So this is the urethra, you can see over here. So which is passing through the copulatory organ, that is penis. So the length is 20 centimeter in case of the male. In case of the female, you can see this is the opening of the urethra, okay, which is going to open into the vestibule of a female reproductive system. So you can see this is a location of the vagina. Just next to the vagina, there will be one more opening into the vestibule. Okay, that is the urethral opening, and the length of the urethra is only 4 centimeter in case of the female. So look at the location. So this is the urinary bladder. Now you can see how that ureter is going to open into the urinary bladder obliquely. You can see this is called as urethral opening. Okay, and it is going to open obliquely and dorsally. Now you can see there are two sphincters are there, even in case of the male as well as female. This is internal sphincter, this is external sphincter. Okay, now you can see this is the urethra, which is passing through the copulatory organ, that is penis. And this is a urethra in case of the female, which is just going to open into the vestibule, which is a part of female reproductive or female external genitalia. Okay, so this is all about the excretory system of human being. Okay, now we are going to talk about the process of we are going to discuss about the internal structure of the kidney. Now in case of the kidney, if you say that, or if you take the transverse section of the kidney, okay, so you can able to see the structure like this. Okay, the kidney is covered by a covering. There are three layers. Okay, the outermost layer is called as renal fascia, which is made up of fibrous connective tissue. Outermost layer is called as renal fascia, which is made up of fibrous connective tissue. Okay, so which is this is the outermost layer, and it is going to attach its kidney to the abdominal wall as well as surrounding tissue. Middle layer is made up of adipose connective tissue. Can you see this is the second layer, that is a middle layer, that is called as adipose capsule, which is going to protect the kidney from the trauma. Okay, from, or it can act as a shock absorber. Okay, and innermost layer is called as renal capsule. Innermost layer is a renal capsule, which is a smooth, transparent, fibrous membrane that is continuous with the outer layer of the uterus. Okay, which is going to continuous with outer layer of uterus. So there are three layer. Outer layer is called as renal fascia. Renal fascia is made up of fibrous connective tissue. So renal fascia is going to help to connect kidney to the abdominal wall and surrounding tissue. The second layer is called as adipose tissue, right? The middle one, which is going to protect the kidney from mechanical injury. Okay, it acts as a shock absorber. Then innermost layer is called as renal capsule. This renal capsule is made up of smooth, transparent, fibrous membrane, which will be continuous with ureter. Okay, now we are going to discuss about the histology of the kidney, how that cells and tissues are arranged internally in case of the kidney. If you take the if you take the longitudinal section, LS of the kidney, or vertical section of the kidney, you are going to observe the structure like this. Okay. Now, outer layer of the kidney is known as cortex. Can you see over here? Outer layer of the kidney is known as cortex. Inner layer of the kidney is known as medulla. Outer layer of the kidney is known as cortex, which is a granular. So inner layer is called as medulla. So this portion, you can see this entire portion is referred as a cortex. Medulla is represented by the many pyramids. So you can see there is a triangular areas. So all these triangular areas are the part of renal medulla. So outer part is called as cortex, inner part is called as medulla. Medulla is made up of number of pyramid. So these pyramids you can see over here. Okay. These are the triangular structure. These are the triangular structure. So medulla is represented. Medulla is represented by the number of pyramid which are called as renal pyramid, or it is also known as medullary pyramid. Okay, either you can call it as middle, that is renal pyramid, or you can call it as what, medullary pyramid. Okay, now if you see that over here, that in between the medullary pyramid, can you see this is a portion of the cortex which has continue in between the medullary pyramid. This is the portion of the cortex which has continued in between the medullary pyramid. This is a portion of the cortex. Now the cortex is going to penetrate in between the pyramid. Now this is called as column of Bertini. Okay, the part of the cortex, you can see it is written over here, renal column. Either you can call it as renal column, or it is also called as column of Bertini. Okay, it is also known as column of Bertini. So medulla is represented by number of pyramidal or number of triangular structure called as renal pyramid or medullary pyramid. In between the medullary pyramid, the part of the cortex will continue. Now it is known as column of Bertini. If you see that single pyramid, the single pyramid has got base and apex. Okay, you can see this is a base, this is apex, this is the base, this is apex. Base is directed toward cortex. Base is directed toward cortex. You can see the base is toward the cortex. Base is toward the cortex. Now apex is directed toward a structure over here. So this structure is referred as renal papilla. Base is directed toward cortex. Apex is directed toward renal papilla. Okay, so each medullary pyramid has base and apex. Base is directed toward cortex. Apex is directed toward renal papilla. Okay, now if you see that renal pyramid, it shows a number of striations. Okay, it is going to show the number of striations. So these striations are going to converge at the tip. You can see it is a striations, and all these striations are going to gather, or they are going to converge near the tip. Okay, so this is all about what, that is a renal medulla. Okay, so the kidney has outer part is called as cortex, inner part is called as medulla. Okay, medulla is represented by number of pyramid. That pyramid has base and apex. Base is directed toward cortex. Apex is directed toward renal papilla. Okay, each pyramid is going to show the number of striations. All the striations are going to converge at the tip. In between the renal pyramid, the part of the cortex will continue, which is called as renal column or column of Bertini. Okay, now inside this, you can see there is small cup-like structure. Can you see this is a small cup-like structure? This is a small cup-like structure. This is a small cup-like structure, which is called as minor calyx. This small cup-like structure open into the large cup-like structure called as major calyx. You can see in the diagram. So this is small cup-like structure called as minor calyx. This minor calyx is going to open into the large cup-like structure called as major calyx. Okay. Now that major calyx is going to open into the last central cavity called as renal pelvis. Okay. And this renal pelvis is ultimately going to open into the part called as ureter. That means first the urine is accumulated into the minor calyx. From the minor calyx, urine will go to the major calyx. From the major calyx, urine is going to enter into the central portion called as renal pelvis. And finally, it is going to enter into the part called as ureter. So this is known as histology of kidney. Okay. So tip of the pyramid is known as renal papilla. So you can see this is a tip of the pyramid. This tip of the pyramid is known as renal papilla. Okay. So this is all about the histology of kidney. So in case of the micturition, what is micturition? Micturition is basically urination. Okay. So whenever your urinary bladder is full with urine, okay, so the signals are initiated by stretching of the urinary bladder. So you can see in the diagram, okay, this is your urinary bladder. Can you see over here? Okay, this is the urinary bladder. So whenever that urinary bladder is full, okay, now the urinary bladder has stretch receptor. Okay, the urinary bladder has stretch receptor. So whenever your urinary bladder is full, the signal is initiated by the stretch receptor. Okay, now that signal is carried by the sensory neuron to the central nervous system. Okay, now in the central nervous system, that message is analyzed. Okay, now another message is sent via the motor neuron. Can you see this is a motor neuron? Okay, so CNS will passes the message, that is message via the motor neuron. Now these motor neuron, it will go to the urinary bladder. Okay, and it will cause the smooth muscle contraction. Okay, it is going to cause the contraction of smooth muscles of urinary bladder, and simultaneously there will be relaxation of urethral sphincter. So urinary bladder is going to contract and urethral sphincter is going to relax, and thus urine is released out. Okay, so what is the sequence? First, your urinary bladder is full with urine, right? Then next, the signals are initiated by stretching of urinary, the signal is initiated by stretching of the urinary bladder, because urinary bladder has stretch receptor. Okay, now the stretch receptor on the wall of the bladder will send a signal to the central nervous system via sensory neuron. Now the CNS passes on the motor message. It is going to pass the message via motor neuron. Now that motor neuron will carry the message toward the urinary bladder and the urethral sphincter. Okay, so it is going to initiate the contraction of the smooth muscles of the bladder, and finally there will be simultaneous relaxation of the urethral sphincter, as well as there will be release of urine. So urinary bladder will contract and sphincter muscle will relax. Okay, this is how the micturition will occur. So this is known as micturition reflex. This is known as micturition reflex. Again, I'm going to repeat. Urinary bladder is filled with the urine. Okay, it has got stretch receptor. Okay, that stretch receptor are activated. It will send a message to the central nervous system via sensory neuron. Okay, then it will send another message via motor neuron. That motor neuron will come to the urinary bladder and urethra. It is going to cause the contraction of urinary bladder and relaxation of urethral sphincter, that result into a process called as urination or micturition. Okay, so this is all about the phenomena known as micturition. Okay, this is the phenomena is known as micturition. The next part is functions of your kidney. So what are the functions? First, it is going to maintain the internal environment constant. Okay. So maintenance of the internal environment constant, irrespective of external environment, it is known as homeostasis. So very important functions of the kidney, it is involved in homeostasis. Okay. Second, it is going to remove the nitrogenous waste product. Okay. It is going to purify your blood. So that is the second role. If suppose there is problem with your kidney, then you need to undergo dialysis, which is actually dialysis is artificial. It is referred as artificial kidney, because it is going to remove the nitrogenous waste product artificially, right? Then it is also going to adjust sodium, potassium, chlorine ion concentration in your body. Okay, so when these salt and ions are adjusted, that ultimately it is going to responsible for regulation of acid base balance, that is pH of body fluid. It is also going to regulate the concentration of water and salt with respect to your blood, which is known as osmoregulation. Okay, it is going to remove the excess of foreign substances. Kidney is also a site of detoxification. There are two organs which are concerned with the detoxification. One is liver, another is kidney. So it is going to remove the excess of foreign substance like drugs and pigment, and it also going to release the hormone called as erythropoietin and calcitriol. Okay, so erythropoietin is involved in erythropoiesis. What is erythropoiesis? Erythropoiesis is nothing but formation of RBC, and calcitriol is responsible for bone formation. Okay, it is responsible for bone formation. So therefore, it is very important hormone. So this is all about functions of the kidney.